He is the final enemy combatant held under the Bush administration's policy, and he just faced a judge. Ali al-Mari, accused of being an Qaeda Sleeper agent sent by Osama bin Laden to launch a cyber attack on America's banking system. When faced with those charges against him, he entered no plea. Shannon Bream is following all of today's developments live for us from Washington. So fill us in on what happened this morning, Shannon.
Well, John, apparently we've got a producer there in the courtroom. She said this was such an unusual situation because he came in. She said al-Mari was in sweats. He was shackled at his hands and ankles, but that he was very, very happy. She described him as jovial. She said he was joking around with his attorney and just in a fabulous mood. Well, his attorney said that's because this is the first time he's been out of the Navy brig in Charleston in 7 years. The judge read him his rights, asked him if he understood. He said, yes, sir. He did not enter a plea. What he's faced with now is an indictment that came out February 26th from a federal grand jury in Illinois accusing him of providing material support to al-Qaeda and conspiring with others to do that. So no plea to those charges, but apparently he's in a very good mood today.
So what happens next?
Well, for now, he's going to stay at the Navy brig in Charleston. Of course, that's a military holding facility, but it's very clear to everyone at this point he is now in civilian custody of the U.S. Marshals. He is going to stay at the Navy brig by agreement with the military, but he's now simply facing civilian criminal charges. He's going to have a detention hearing in Charleston coming up on the 18th. That's been set. Ultimately, he should wind up back in Illinois to face those charges in that federal indictment, and we expect at that point that he's going to enter a formal plea, but probably not before then, John.
A lot of people watching this case very closely because it's really a huge change from the way the Bush administration was handling these guys, right?
Absolutely. You know, he, as you mentioned, was the only enemy combatant being held on U.S. soil. Most of the rest of them were at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. They were not allowed to enter the U.S. court system. Instead, they were fed into these military tribunals that were created to handle their very unique situations. They wanted to be in the federal court system. This is the first enemy combatant who's actually getting that chance. The Obama administration has signaled they're going to handle this very differently. They're re-examining Guantanamo Bay, the detention center there, what's going to happen to it. So a lot of people are going to be watching this. Definitely a test case to see how we're going to handle terror suspects within the U.S. court system, John.
All right, Shannon Bream live in Washington. Thanks, Shannon.